A bombshell just dropped in the Bay Area, and it's shaking up everything we thought we knew about the Golden State Warriors offseason plans. For weeks, if not months, the narrative around Jonathan Kuminga was crystal clear. He was on the trading block. Every conversation, every whisper around the league hinted that Kuminga's time with the Warriors was winding down. Multiple teams were reportedly circling. The Sacramento Kings, the Phoenix Suns, even other unnamed contenders were sniffing around. Fans were bracing for impact. Analysts were drawing up mock trades, and all signs pointed to a major shakeup. But now, everything's changed. According to internal sources leaking through well-connected channels in San Francisco, the Warriors have pulled a complete 180. Jonathan Kuminga is no longer being shopped. He's staying, at least for now. And that's not a maybe, that's not a we'll see. That's straight from inside the building. The Warriors, led by GM Mike Dunleavy Jr. and under the watchful eye of ownership, have reportedly taken all trade scenarios involving Kuminga off the table for this offseason. They're locking in, holding their cards close, and essentially telling the rest of the league, we're not moving him unless you blow us away. This move comes after what's been a tense and strategic back and forth between Kuminga's camp and the Warriors front office. We're talking about contract standoffs, sign and trade offers, rejected extensions, and all kinds of internal poker games being played between agents and executives. At the center of it all, a 21-year-old forward with explosive upside entering a career-defining phase, and a franchise desperately trying to extend the competitive window of their aging core. Now, let's be clear, just because the Warriors say they're done listening to trade offers doesn't mean this situation is totally resolved. In fact, what makes this even more dramatic is the timing and context. Kuminga is still without a long-term deal. Golden State offered him a 2-year, $45 million contract. His agent, Aaron Turner, pushed back, reportedly countering with a 3-year, $82 million framework that would have helped the Warriors stay under the dreaded second apron. But Golden State wasn't having it. They rejected that offer. And now Kuminga is sitting with a $7.9 million qualifying offer on the table. If he signs that, he plays one more year with the Warriors and becomes an unrestricted free agent next summer. That's where things start to get tricky and risky, because taking the qualifying offer is basically the nuclear option. It's the ultimate bet on yourself. If Kuminga signs that deal, it's a 1-year contract with no future guarantees. Any injury, any benching, any internal fallout, and he could lose tens of millions of dollars. And let's not forget, the Warriors don't exactly have a history of giving young players free rein. If he ends up back in Steve Kerr's doghouse like he did toward the end of last season, that gamble could backfire in a big way. But it's not just about money. It's about leverage. If Kuminga takes the qualifying offer, Golden State loses flexibility. A smaller salary means it becomes a lot harder to flip him for a significant return before the deadline. The front office knows that. They want him locked into a multi-year deal, ideally in the $22 million per year range. Not because they're necessarily convinced he's worth that right now, but because it preserves a salary slot they can use later, whether that's for a bigger trade, a major piece to complement Steph Curry, or even a potential run at a superstar if the opportunity arises. And that brings us to the next layer. The Warriors might not be planning to keep Kuminga long-term at all. Sources close to the team have hinted that their recent offer included a clause requiring Kuminga to waive his no-trade clause in the first year. That's rare for players coming off rookie contracts. It's a clear sign the team wants to retain the ability to move him if the right offer comes along. They're not tying themselves to him for the next 4 or 5 years. They want options, flexibility, and they want it on their terms. On the other side of the table, Kuminga's agent Aaron Turner has a bit of a reputation in situations like this. A few years ago, he advised Victor Oladipo to reject an extension from the Pacers and take a qualifying offer. That ended in disaster. Oladipo got traded, then injured, and Turner was fired. So there's definitely some skepticism around how this negotiation is being handled. But make no mistake, Turner and Kuminga believe he's worth more than what the Warriors are offering, and they're playing hardball because they know other teams believe it too. Take the Sacramento Kings, for example. They reportedly offered Kuminga, a 3-year, $63 million contract in a sign and trade scenario. That would have included Malik Monk and a protected first-round pick going to Golden State. Sounds decent on paper, right? But the Warriors weren't impressed. The sticking point, those protections on the pick. Golden State wanted it unprotected. Sacramento said no. Stalemate. And it's not just about the pick. The Warriors reportedly didn't want to include Moses, Moody, or Buddy Hield in any deal just to balance salaries. They're holding firm on who they value, and they're not going to take back players they don't believe fit the long-term vision. That's why Malik Monk, despite being a legit scorer averaging over 17 points per game last season, wasn't enough to move the needle. He's small, doesn't fix their defensive issues, and is locked into a hefty contract through the 2028-2029 season. The fit just wasn't there. Other teams like the Phoenix Suns also kicked the tires. But their offer was reportedly Royce O'Neal, Nick Richards, and a handful of second-round picks. Golden State didn't even blink. It's clear they've set the bar sky high. They want a young impact player and a first-round pick. Anything less? Forget it. And look, part of the reason they can afford to play hardball is because Joe Lacob, the team's owner, is still a major Kuminga believer. He's always been high on his potential. And unless someone comes in with a Godfather offer, Kuminga's staying, even if it means starting the year on a qualifying offer with all the uncertainty that brings. But there's also another strategic reason behind this. The Warriors are trying to preserve that $22 million salary slot in case a real star becomes available. Someone like, say, Giannis Antetokounmpo. Now, before you roll your eyes, yes, it's a long shot, but rumors are picking up steam again about Giannis questioning the Bucks roster and future. He's had recent talks with Milwaukee's front office, reportedly probing whether they can still compete for a title. And every time those conversations come up, the Warriors' name isn't far behind. It's not new. We've heard the whispers for years now. But if the Bucks decide to explore that scenario, and that's still a big if, Golden State wants to be ready. They need assets, salary slots, and young players on team-friendly deals. Kuminga checks all those boxes if he signs for the right number. So yeah, when you put it all together, this isn't just about whether Jonathan Kuminga is staying or going. This is about a franchise trying to thread a nearly impossible needle. They're trying to stay competitive in Steph Curry's final prime years, while also building enough flexibility to pounce if a superstar becomes available. It's a dangerous game full of risk, ego, and long-term implications. And the craziest part? There's still no real resolution. The deadline for Kuminga to accept the qualifying offer is October 1st. Until then, it's a waiting game, and both sides are using the media to posture, leak, and apply pressure. The Warriors leaked that they're done taking trade calls. But is that true? Or just a ploy to get the Kings or someone else to sweeten their offer? Because according to new reports, even if Sacramento removed the protections on that first-round pick, the Warriors would still say no. They're reportedly holding out for someone like Keegan Murray or Keon Ellis, names that haven't even come up in formal trade talks, which feels borderline insane. But again, maybe that's part of the strategy. Maybe the Warriors are leaking that information just to see if Sacramento blinks. What's clear is this. Golden State isn't operating from a place of desperation. They're holding the line. And for now, Kuminga is part of their plan, not because they're convinced he's the future, but because he's still a valuable chip in a much bigger game. And let's be honest, this situation has dragged on long enough. Fans are tired. The front office is walking a tightrope. And Kuminga himself is stuck in limbo, probably wondering if his future will be decided by October or at the trade deadline in February. Either way, something's got to give. Because one way or another, this is all building toward a moment of reckoning. The situation surrounding Jonathan Kuminga and the Golden State Warriors is no longer just a contract negotiation or a trade saga. It's become the centerpiece of a high-stakes gamble with ripple effects that could shape the franchise for years to come. As the Warriors attempt to keep their championship window cracked open just a little longer for Stephen Curry, they are playing a dangerous game, and Kuminga has become the pivot point. Every move from here on out Every phone call, every leak, every meeting behind closed doors will echo through the future of the Warriors core and how the next generation is built. Before we continue, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel so you won't miss any exclusive Dubs updates. Let's keep going. The unexpected dismissal of Steve Kerr as head coach of the Golden State Warriors has sent shockwaves through the NBA community and left fans and analysts scrambling to understand the reasoning behind such a bold move. Kerr, widely respected for his strategic mind, leadership qualities, and championship pedigree, had guided the Warriors through some of their most successful years in franchise history. Under his tenure, the Warriors secured multiple NBA titles and were consistently considered one of the most dominant teams in the league. His dismissal is not just a routine coaching change. It marks a significant turning point for a team that has been a symbol of excellence and innovation in professional basketball. The decision reportedly came after internal disagreements about team direction and performance expectations. The Warriors organization has emphasized their desire to build a team capable of competing at the highest level for years to come. But the timing and manner of Kerr's firing has sparked debates about the stability and future trajectory of the franchise. Many wonder if this move will impact the Warriors' culture and the confidence of their star players, who have been deeply influenced by Kerr's leadership style. This coaching change opens a new chapter filled with uncertainties, and the entire basketball world will be watching closely to see how the Warriors navigate this unexpected upheaval. Steve Kerr's coaching career has been a model of success and innovation, blending a deep understanding of basketball strategy with a calm and approachable leadership style that earned him admiration across the league. Since taking over as head coach of the Golden State Warriors in 2014, Kerr transformed a talented but underachieving team into a powerhouse that redefined modern basketball with its fast-paced three-point heavy offense and unselfish play. His emphasis on team chemistry and mental toughness helped create a culture that prioritized player development and adaptability, qualities that were crucial in securing 3 NBA championships within 5 seasons. Kerr's influence extended beyond tactics. He was a mentor to young stars like Stephen Curry, Klay Thompson, and Draymond Green, helping them evolve into one of the most formidable trios in basketball history. His dismissal, therefore, represents not just a change in personnel, but a potential disruption of a system that was carefully constructed over many years. It raises critical questions about how the Warriors plan to maintain their competitive edge without the visionary who orchestrated their rise. While the organization has yet to announce a successor, the decision to part ways with Kerr suggests a significant shift in philosophy that will reverberate throughout the NBA. The circumstances leading up to Steve Kerr's dismissal have been the subject of much speculation, with insiders suggesting that a combination of factors contributed to the decision by Warriors management. Reports indicate that recent seasons had seen growing tensions between Kerr and key front office figures regarding team strategy, player usage, and future roster construction. Some sources claim that there was frustration over the Warriors' inability to replicate their earlier dominance amid injuries and roster changes, which may have fueled a desire for new leadership capable of re-energizing the franchise. Additionally, the emergence of internal discord reportedly influenced the decision, as differing visions for the team's direction created a challenging environment for collaboration. The timing of the dismissal, coming shortly after a lackluster playoff run, highlights the pressure on the organization to return to championship form quickly. Fans and pundits have debated whether the decision was justified or premature. Considering Kerr's track record of success and his role in developing the team's identity, the Warriors front office must now weigh the risk of destabilizing a proven system against the potential benefits of a fresh approach. The decision underscores the high-stakes nature of professional sports, where even the most successful coaches can find their positions vulnerable amid shifting expectations and ambitions. The reaction from players, fans, and the wider basketball community to Steve Kerr's firing has been swift and emotionally charged, reflecting the profound impact he has had on the Warriors and the NBA as a whole. Many players, including franchise cornerstone Stephen Curry, have publicly expressed their gratitude and respect for Kerr's leadership and coaching acumen, underscoring the deep bonds formed over years of collaboration. Social media has been flooded with tributes to Kerr's contributions, with former and current players highlighting his role in shaping not only their careers, but also the culture of professionalism and resilience that defined the Warriors' era of success. Fans, meanwhile, have shown a mix of shock, disappointment, and cautious optimism about the future, recognizing the challenges that lie ahead without Kerr at the helm. Analysts have weighed in with varying opinions, some arguing that the Warriors need a new voice to adapt to the evolving NBA landscape, while others caution against disrupting a successful formula. This collective response illustrates the emotional and professional stakes tied to the coaching change, which resonates far beyond the immediate impact on the team's performance. Kerr's legacy is secure, but the coming months will reveal how the Warriors and the broader basketball world adjust to a new reality without one of the game's most influential coaches. Looking ahead, the Golden State Warriors face a critical period of transition that will test the resilience and adaptability of the franchise following the sudden departure of Steve Kerr. The organization must now embark on a search for a new head coach capable of sustaining the team's winning culture while injecting fresh ideas to navigate the increasingly competitive NBA environment. This challenge is heightened by the presence of star players who have thrived under Kerr's guidance and whose buy-in will be essential to any new coach's success. The front office's ability to align its vision with the coaching staff and players will be pivotal in determining whether the Warriors can maintain their status as championship contenders or if they will face a rebuilding phase. Furthermore, the ripple effects of this coaching change will influence team dynamics, player development, and fan engagement. The Warriors must balance respect for their recent legacy with the necessity of innovation to remain relevant and competitive. As the franchise moves forward, the decisions made in the coming months will shape the direction of one of the NBA's most storied teams. The basketball world will be watching closely to see how Golden State responds to this major upheaval and whether it can recapture the magic that defined the Steve Kerr era. Stay updated exclusively with the latest Dub Nation news. Subscribe to our channel and hit the like button to keep getting daily updates on the Warriors. Don't forget to share your thoughts in the comments. Your input is essential for the Dubs community. Stay tuned for the next video.